Swadika, welcome investor to PRTR Digital Roadshow. Thank you for joining our session today. I'm Narita, Head of Investor Relations, and Kun Thirapat, our CFO, will be introduce our company to you guys today. Let me share the presentation. Okay. Like our performance agenda today will run through like company overview highlight for like 9 months and business outlook for like 3 years. Then the last one will be like financial performance. Let me introduce PRTR. We are like total HR solution operate in Thailand for 32 years. We are starting in 1993 from recruitment service first. Then in 2000, we expand to outsourcing services. In 2006, we are open the office in Eastern Seaboard to expand our recruitment through like manufacturing unit in Eastern Seaboard. And lately we have like having a new service to complete our like total HR solution. In 2021, we have a new service Blacksmith, which is like integrated learning service both online and offline to fulfill HR requirement that request the training, but previously we didn't do this service. And in the same year, we have invest and having a new business in like HR technology platform, which will be include like payroll and HR management. In 2023, we are IPO and in set market listed. 2025, this year, we just M&A a new service in outsource for driver and maid with a big resource. In the red line, you will see the revenue from PRTR growing clearly is around 7,300 million and net profit in blue line is 227 million in 2024. In the CAGR 5-year revenue is 10.9% and net profit is 17.2%. This is like overview of like PRTR. 9-month highlight, we have a total revenue growth 6%, which is like 5,700 million baht. In net profit, we have 171. Net profit margin is like 3% year on year the same. In outsource service, we have handle around 19,000 outsource staff with PRTR, which is we are target to close the year in 19,600. This year, we are gaining like new headcount around 2,000 headcount from our new client and existing. In Pinno, the HRIS software, currently we target this year basically 50,000 users, but clearly we already achieved the target we set for having the user 50,000. So we extend the target to 52,000 users by end of this year. In 2025, we are gaining around like 30,000 users this year. And the last one is the recruitment service. We have placing around like 1,600 candidates through our client. And target this year, we expect to close around 2,200 placement to our client. This is like a key service that we want to highlight to you guys in like 9-month performance. Further from the revenue, I want to break down into like a portion of the revenue, which like you can see like outsource, we generate portion of like 96% of the revenue, which is recurring income due to the outsource contract is minimum like 1 year. And like normally around 8 year plus of the client, they like continue renewing the contract. For recruitment service is around 2.7% and new service Blacksmith 0.5% and Pinno is around 0.5%. Right hand side, you can see the gross profit, which will be generate the portion differently. In outsource, it will be around 80% and recruitment around 16%. Blacksmith around 2.7%. Pinno is around 1.8%. Due to recruitment, Blacksmith and Pinno will have generate higher gross profit and higher margin from outsource. Okay, talking about outsourcing service, give you a clear picture what is the outsource service. Normally, when we get the client request and the B2B contract side, we will custom based on like client request, like any benefit that they want to plug in. And we were doing the recruitment, hiring, and onboarding and payroll calculation for client. Then at end of the month, we will just like issue one invoice. Picture like when you're going to like department store and you met like PC in department store, mainly around like 8,000 to 9,000 PC that we are handling for our client, which is like outsourcing service. The key highlight of the client outsource service is a cost plus model. Whatever income that we are paying to our outsource staff, we were on top with the service fee, which is like a rolling because we are not hiring before the contract start. And this is like recurring revenue, as I mentioned. The average top client is with us for like 8 years. We also having like add-on service on like outsource and like for example background check, visa and work permit, cash advance to the staff, and our training service as well. We are supporting outsource with like our technology called PRTR Connect. This is like support all the self-service like online check-in, work schedule planning, leave requisition, and line manager can approve everything through the system, and also like support on the e-pay slip. Talking about market size of like outsource, currently is like 1,300 billion, and PRTR having 5.4% on the market share. You can see like it's still having growth from 2000 to 2024 around 4.5%. So outsource market is quite big. In detail for PRTR, as mentioned, currently we have around 19,000 outsourced staff. If you can see the breakdown of like job function, you can see like I mentioned around 40% is like PC and 20% is like for outsourced office and other staff. Worker around 9%. Engineer, we also support client on this function around 9%. Sales and marketing and customer service. This is all job function that we are support and in like various industry from like top service is top industry is like consumer electronic around 26%, which this year we have a growth around 12% on this sector. Sector that we are growing this year also like wholesale and retail around 33%, and pharma and healthcare this year growth around 15%. So in Q3 we are boarding a new client on oil and gas segment in technician and construction product in worker and also like PC. Prospect in Q2 we expect to have around 600 headcount on top from this figure, which will be in focus in like food and beverage, machinery and service. Okay, this is overview of like outsourced 9 months. Next service, it will be another core service of PRTR recruitment. The strongest point is that we have a biggest candidate database around almost 700,000 candidates. We normally screen and shortlist potential candidate to the client, then get the client to interview, then offer, and we have one-time service fee charge. The key highlight for the recruitment, we are #1 recruitment agency in Thailand, and we are supporting client on a high volume and hiring demand. Normally a year we are placing around 2,000 to 2,500 candidates per year to our client. We specialize in like industry and we support all job level and job function to client. We have a big team around 150 recruiter to support to screen the candidates. Market size on recruitment in Thailand is around 3,300. PRTR having market share around 7.6%. In depth for recruitment, we are breaking into like 3 layers, like junior position, middle, and executive level. In Q3, we are having revenue at 153, which is like decline around 20% due to the economic things that happened in Thailand this year. Basically, what we are focusing, and you can see that we still maintain and can see the growth in is a junior position that low competitive in Thailand market because they are focusing like more in middle and executive. So this junior position we have a lot of opportunity to grow in Thailand. As I can see in the Q4 highlight, the junior position, we have a high demand in like restaurant segment around like 100 headcount, and we also won a contract for doing the technician for ship repair, 70 headcount, and also 35 headcount in hotel segment. So when you look at the placement, you can see that the high placement is under the junior level. And the top sector this year that we are contributing revenue is from machinery in manufacturing and also automotive. Also logistics also growth around 20% this year. So overall, I think recruitment this year is quite slow in middle and executive level and slow in like decision from like hiring manager due to the economic. But PRTR, we are diversified to see whether any opportunity in like any revenue in any segment. So we expect that in next year we are able to grow in like junior and other segment in the focus industry that we can see the potential next year. In blacksmith is another service that we are just having in this 3 year. Is integrated learning service is only Thailand or only a few vendor that doing integrated learning. So we aim to grow this market in Thailand from the key highlight. This year, we having growth in revenue around 27%. We expect to close the revenue around 42%. This is from the recognized on like training day. Basically, in the sale, you can see the different figure here, like contract size. 9 months, we have been sale around 30 million comparing to last year, 27 million. And we expect to close sale this year around 45 million, which is like have a sale growth around 66%. In the GL recognition, we still have a backlog around 12 million to recognize income from 9 months GL. We have 26 million, so expect to close the year around 42 million. In net profit, this year, 9 months, we still have minus around 3.5, but we expect this year closing, it should be almost break even. And in next year, we expect to have a revenue around 3.7 million. So in next year, we can see that this market can be pick up and blacksmith able to make a profit next year. Talking about like market size of training, currently is around 3,400 million, and blacksmith only have a market share around 1%. And even though it's 1%, blacksmith is still in like top 20 this year, with top 20 is generate average revenue around 34 million. We aim that in next 3 years, blacksmith could be in top 10 with average revenue around 100 million. And in 8 years, we expect that we can be a top 5 in average revenue around 250 million for the blacksmith direction. We aim next year to have a signature course for blacksmith that can attract and like marketing branding blacksmith stronger. With this signature course, like specialize in like leadership and talent program and employee productivity engagement. This will be launched next year on like blacksmith signature course. Next service, it will be Pinot HRIS platform, we call IPOP. The revenue that we are target to close this year is around 50 million, which we expect to have a growth around 58% in terms of revenue growth. In next 3 years, next year we expect to have a revenue growth around 40 to 60%, and next 2 years is around 20 to 40%. So this year, in terms of revenue 9 months, we are closing around 32.9 million, with still around having 40% growth. For net profit, 9 months, we still minus 3.2, but next year we expect to see the growth of the profit around 3 million. This year, I think is around break even. Okay, in terms of the number of users that I mentioned, this year we gain 18 clients, and we have like 30,000 users, and closing this year 52,000 users, and expect next year to have on top 27,000 users in 2026. So direction of through service, I think is have strong growth, and we can see pick up in having a profit next year. Highlight for the Pinno, we aim to target the sector of customer that having size around 300 to 1,000 user. With the key highlight of our product USP is like we have like open API that can integrate in with client system. The module that we have that made the client requirement is like having a call center and allocation and complex time and allowance calculation, competitive price comparing to competitor in the market. In terms of market size, we have around 2,300 market size, and market share for Pinno is around 1.4%. Currently Pinno is on like top 10 with this average revenue around 32 million. Top 5 for the average revenue is around 100, and we expect to in top 5 in next 3 years and top 3 in next 5 years with average revenue around 150 million. This is like picture view of our Pinno service. Last is used by that maid and driver outsource that we just like M&A. We target to have a revenue growth this year around 18%, and next year is around 40 to 60%. We just M&A this around August this year, so the revenue will be recognized here around like August to September, around 30 million in PRTR portion. For profit this year, next year we aim to have a profit at 10 million. And expect to have headcount growth in next year around 50% from 600 to 900 outsourced staff. But the key highlight is like model is different from the outsourced that we are working is a lump sum model which generate higher GP, also recurring revenue, and the key focus industry in next year will be like logistic, manual, and car dealer. So we have a potential growth in next year for used by in maid and driver next year. Next will be like business outlook. I will get Kun Thirapat CFO to share the outlook to you.
ขอบคุณครับ For the business outlook of PRTR in the next 3 years, for our outsourcing and recruitment services, we are expect to grow at around 10 to 15% per year, and for blacksmith and Pinno, which generate the higher margin business for us, we expect to grow even further at the average rate around 30% to 40% in the next 3 years. And the shift in the revenue mix is a key driver to of our margin to expand strategy. In 2028, we target our gross profit margin to rise from the current 9% this year to 10% in 2028, and expect the portion that Pinno and blacksmith will contribute in total gross profit increase from 20% to 27%. The improvement in gross profit combined with the better operating efficiency will drive our net profit margin from 2.9% this year to 3.5% in 2028. And I want to summarize our financial performance. For the overall services, total revenue for the 9 months of this year, we reached 5.7 billion baht, growing 5.5% year on year. Outsourcing continue to be our main business at around 96% of total revenue, while recruitment contribute 3%. And in Q3, revenue increased 4.4% year on year, and the revenue in Q2 was slightly higher when compared with the Q3, which is the normal for our business cycle because we recognize the half-year bonus in the second quarter. So the third quarter will be lower compared to the last quarter. Gross profit for the first 9 months was 510 million baht, with margin of 9%, slightly decreased compared to last year, mainly due to the lower revenue from the recruitment business. which affect our overall gross profit margin. But however, in this quarter, gross profit improved to 176 million, increased 3.8% Q on Q, and this improvement was supported by the gross profit that increased from outsourcing business and the recovery of the blacksmith revenue from the first half. And for the outsourcing services, the revenue reached 5.4 billion baht, an increase of 6.3% year on year. The growth was driven by expansion in our client in the consumer electronic, wholesale, and pharma industry. And yeah, looking at the trend of the QT revenue was 1.8 billion baht, represent 5.2 growth year on year, and slightly decline from the Q2. That is because of the seasonal from the half-year bonus cycle. Gross profit for the 9 months was still increased from the last year from 392 million baht to 400 million baht, up 3.6 year on year, in line with our revenue trend. Gross profit margin was 7.4% compared to 7.6% last year, due to the loss of the high margin BPO project that we lost in the first quarter. And in Q3, gross profit improved to 142 million baht, up 6.3% Q on Q, and gross profit margin recovered to 7.8%. This improvement reflects the contribution from Bit Resource, which carry a high gross profit margin of around 16%, and that we acquisition in Q3, and the overall increase in other outsourced services to like a conversion fee. And next, for the recruitment services, recruitment service was 153 million baht, declined by 20% year on year. The decrease reflects the economic slowdown in Thailand, which result the lower hiring activity from middle level and executive position. On quarterly basis, Q3 revenue declined 14% year on year and 23% Q on Q, following the same trend of the lower demand in high level recruitment. Gross profit also declined in line with the revenue because the reduction in the revenue has a direct impact on our gross profit in recruitment services. In Q3, gross profit was 23 million baht, decreased 23% Q on Q and 42% year on year, consistent with the slowdown in the demand in the mid to high level placement. However, we still expect the improvement going forward as economic activity recover and our improvement in the operation process. For our new services, the revenue from the new services reached 60 million baht, increased by 20% year on year. The key driver of this growth came from Pino, supported by the increase in active user from 20,000 users at end of the last year to 50,000 users this year, more than double year on year. And for the Q3, the revenue increased to 25 million, increased by 30% year on year and 45% Q on Q, reflect the continued growth of both Pino and Blacksmith, especially Blacksmith that deliver a sharp revenue increase this quarter, and we still expect the level of performance to be sustained in Q4, based on the training that booking with us in Q4. We will still expect the revenue of the Blacksmith is around 12 to 15 million baht in the fourth quarter of this year. The gross profit for the 9 months was 26.6 million baht, increased by 45% year-on-year. The gross profit margin improved significantly from 36% to 43.9%. This improvement was driven by high margin revenue from Pinno and the recovery of the blacksmith training services in this quarter. In Q3, gross profit reached 11.8 million baht, increased 71.7 Q-on-Q. The gross profit expanded to 47.3. This reflects both the strong user growth in Pinno and the rebound in the blacksmith training activity after a slower in the first half of this year. And the new service is become an increasing meaningful contribution to our profitability in this year and in the next year, that we can turn our new service, both of them, to profitability company in the next year. The operating expense and net profit for the 9 months of this year, operating expense was 300 million baht, that decreased by 4.1% year-on-year, improving our OPEX to revenue ratio from 6% to 5.4%. The reduction was mainly driven by higher operation efficiency across the organization, that we adopt the technology. We adopt the power automate and the RPA and AI coming to efficiency, increase our efficiency in the operation. In Q3, OPEX increased slightly 3.1% Q-on-Q, mainly due to the operation expense of our new acquired subsidiary, that is the Bin Resource. And we record for the net profit, we record 141 million baht for the first 9 months of this year, maintain the same level as the last year, and our net profit margin still maintain at around 3% compared to the last year. Net profit in Q3, net profit was 59 million baht, increased by 3.4% Q-on-Q because of the improvement in the gross profit from outsourcing and the recovery of the blacksmith, and we can stable our operating cost control, so we can still maintain the net profit margin at 3%. And the next one is our financial position. We continue to maintain a strong financial position with a high level of our cash and cash equivalent at 473 million baht. On the liability side, the company remained in a very strong position with no interest-bearing debt. Overall, our strong cash position, zero debt structure provide to significant flexible to support our future investment and business growth in the future. For the statement of cash flow, we began the year with 470 million baht in cash and cash equivalent. From operating activity for the 9-month period, we generate 196 billion baht of cash from investing activity, and we record outflow around 37 million baht from acquisition of our new subsidiary in the third quarter, and invest in the intangible asset. For the financing activity, we use the money to pay a dividend to the shareholder of 150 million baht and pay the lease to the finance. And in this quarter, we have a cash and cash equivalent end of the quarter at 473 million baht, maintaining a strong liquidity position and with no interest-bearing debt. To support our sustainable growth, we still have 450 and 70 million baht in cash and additional 600 million baht in bank facility that give us a strong liquidity and fund expansion based on our current working capital efficiency and cash and bank facility that we have is sufficient to support up to 15,000 million baht in revenues, provide a clear runway for us to sustain growth over the next few years. The key financial ratio, the first one is the current ratio. Our current ratio remain at a healthy level, increased significant after the IPO, and we can stabilize over 4 times, around 4 times of the ratio. As of Q3, the current ratio stand at 4.3 times. Our debt to equity ratio has remained low at 0.4 times, show a strong liquidity and our ability to sustainable growth. Moving to ROE, the ROE has stabilized in between 13 to 14% after the IPO, in line with the significant increase in the shareholder equity. This represents our ability to generate consistent return in the profit. And last is the net profit margin. Our net profit margin has remained stable around 3%, supported by the improvement in the operational efficiency and the increase in the contribution from the high margin of new service like Pinno and Blacksmith and the new subsidiary that we just acquisition in the last quarter is the big resource too.
Okay, the last part is like PRTR news update. We having a company visit last quarter in September. Also, we having received a corporate governance 5-star excellent in a third consecutive year since we IPO. Also, Blacksmith representation from Bangkok Skill Development Office Area 1. We are joining hand to having our platform Blacksmith certified by the DSD for the e-learning. Blacksmith also joined Digital HR Forum and having a workshop to enhance talent sustainable growth with all the HR partner, which is we are having this event continually. PRTR also co-host an event with Australian Chamber to have a panel discussion on transforming people in the age of AI, the real driver of the change. So we are leading all the HR vision to our panel, and our audience in like HR industry.